Welcome to the Modern Homesteading Podcast.
We have allowed ourselves to become so disconnected and ignorant about something that is as intimate as the food that we eat.
Be prepared to grow your own for victory.
God said, I need somebody strong enough to clear trees and heave bales, yet gentle enough to yean lambs and wean pigs and tend the pink-combed pullets who will stop his mower for an hour to splint the broken leg of a meadowlark. So God made a farmer.
Welcome to the Modern Homesteading Podcast. I'm your host, Harold Thornborough from smalltownhomestead.com, and it's day 13 of our 30 days of homesteading Q&A, where I reached out to some of the best bloggers and podcasters in the homesteading space to answer your questions about homesteading. And today we got a great question. I get this one quite a bit, and I know it's something that a lot of people wonder about. The question is, what's the difference between heirloom, hybrid, and GMO seeds? And answering today's question is Mary from MarysHeirloomSeed. Mary tells us exactly what heirloom, hybrid, and GMO seeds are and how organic relates to these seeds. So, Mary, what do you say? What's the difference between these seeds?
Hi, my name is Mary. I'm a blogger, organic farmer, and owner at Mary's Heirloom Seeds. I am often asked, what is an heirloom? So today I'm going to explain what is an heirloom, a hybrid, and a GMO. An heirloom seed has been carefully cultivated, saved, and passed down from generation to generation. Some say an heirloom seed variety is 50 years old or more. Some heirloom varieties have been passed down for over 100 years, and others for over 500 years. Hybrids and GMO varieties are not heirlooms, as these have been genetically altered. Heirloom varieties are often called rare because they aren't mainstream, and if you do find them in the grocery store, sometimes they're pretty expensive. A hybrid seed is seed produced by cross-pollinated plants, such as crossing two different types of tomatoes or crossing two different types of corn. Hybrid seed production is predominant in agriculture and home gardening. The benefits of hybrids can be stronger or more disease-resistant plants. The drawback is that the seeds saved from the fruit or veggies may be sterile for future planting. A quote from the Extension Master Gardener: "The big drawback from hybrids, especially for those who are interested in saving seeds, is that you really can't do so with most hybrids. Due to the long, involved process in developing the hybrids, the genetics of hybrids aren't stable enough to allow the seeds to be self-sustaining. A recent method of hybridization called cell fusion has been utilized to create new F1 hybrids. This method is very controversial as it is considered a form of genetic manipulation." Now we move to the genetically modified organisms, or GMO. GMO seeds have been altered using DNA from completely different species and organisms to give different traits such as resistance to herbicides and acceptance of chemical fertilizers. Some GMO corn, for example, manufactures its own herbicide in its root structure. Some DNA donors have come from fish, frogs, and even bacteria. The major crops that are genetically modified are corn, cotton, soybean, sugar beets, alfalfa, zucchini and crookneck squash, as well as papayas. And more recent additions to the genetically modified list are potatoes and apples. In my own garden and at Mary's Heirloom Seeds, we plant and save heirloom seeds. Heirloom seeds are not necessarily organic, but most companies, like Mary's Heirloom Seeds, state that their seeds are organic and untreated. Not all heirloom seed companies are organic. But why untreated? Some companies use a chemical antibacterial to keep their seeds from going mold. Personally, I stay away from treated seeds. I don't need added chemicals in my garden, thank you very much. If seed diversity and farm heritage is your goal, then heirlooms are a great match for your garden. Some of my favorite varieties include Cherokee Trail of Tears beans. These were collected and saved by the Cherokee Indians from the 1800s. Another unique variety is the St. Valery carrot, which can be recorded by the French from 1885. or one of the very unique varieties we carry at Mary's Heirloom Seeds, is the Seminole Pumpkin. This is a beautiful heirloom variety grown by the Miccosukee and Seminole Indians of Florida, traced back to the 1500s. Have you ever eaten or grown amaranth? We carry Love Lies Bleeding Amaranth, which is a drought-tolerant heirloom. It can be traced back to the 1700s. Each seed head can produce up to 100,000 seeds. If you have any additional questions, we are available via email, which is mary@MarysHeirloomSeeds.com. You can find out more on our website, MarysHeirloomSeeds.com. We have a blog there. I'm very active. Or you can check us out on Facebook. Thanks for joining me, and happy planting.
That's a great answer from Mary. Thank you for that, Mary. I encourage you to go check out her website, MarysHeirloomSeeds.com. I'll have a link for that in the show notes, and as well as her social media pages. As you can tell, Mary knows her stuff about seeds. And I agree. It's a real important question because there is a lot of confusion about that. I've heard many times people think that hybrids are the same as GMO, and they're not. And, the difference between heirloom. I love heirloom. There are some occasions where we'll use some hybrid seeds. We were battling blight with tomatoes a while back, and, we went with a hybrid tomato seed just to try to get away from the blight. And it worked, but I enjoy the heirloom varieties. I think anytime you can go with heirloom, you should. And there might be special occasions where you need something that has a trait that be a little bit better in a hybrid. But great stuff, Mary. Thank you for that. If you want to see the show notes for this episode, go to smalltownhomestead.com/seeds. Check back with us in a couple days. We'll have another great question and answer for you. And until then, happy homesteading.
Thanks for listening. To see the show notes for this podcast or listen to other podcast episodes, go to smalltownhomestead.com. There you can also read our blog, connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and take advantage of the many resources we make available to help you along in your homesteading journey. Please share this podcast and help us to carry out our mission of helping others to homestead today for a better tomorrow.